What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Super here and welcome back to another MK11 video, and today we're talking about everything related to MK11 so far, and I am sharing with you guys my honest opinion about Mortal Kombat 11 now that I've had a chance to digest my thoughts and digest just everything about my experience at the MK events, from playing the game to now listening and hearing everyone else's opinions who either play the game or is just a viewer spectating all this gameplay that we were able to capture. So shout out to WB and NetherRealm, of course, for allowing us to even play the game and capture it. So now that I've composed all my thoughts, I actually do have a list this time, as opposed to my first impressions where I just wanted to share with you guys my first thoughts on the game. I actually have a list, so this is going to be a long video, so buckle up, baby. But before that, as always, if you guys have been enjoying the MK11 content, it's been pretty awesome so far, the reception that my videos have gotten on the game, especially my initial first thoughts. I think you guys definitely appreciated me not sugarcoating anything, and that's definitely gonna happen here. You know, I'm gonna share everything that is in my head, so leave a like rating on the video if you guys have been enjoying the MK11 gameplay. So let's get started. That's enough of the flub of the video. Now let's get into the main course. Alright, so if any NetherRealm employees are watching this video at this very moment, I just want to say thank you and congratulations on providing such a wonderful event for content creators and fans who were able to attend the event, because honestly the production value was insane. It was very amazing, and the staff was really nice too, so thank you guys for that. Now, before I start talking about anything as far as presentation, rosters, gameplay mechanics, any of that, I want to talk about the variation system, because the variation system, the custom variation, was the thing that was promoted the most as far as being a new feature in this game. And I'm very scared that NetherRealm is going to go the route of having 3 predetermined variations set for the game, because Ed Boon has come out and said that it's not set in stone what they're gonna do as far as the competitive scene and like online ranked with the variation system, but he said that he thinks that there should be 3 preset variations per character, and I feel like this takes away the initial design of the game and the initial thought about the creativity and the new feature that players are going to be able to get in MK11. No gear stats anymore for actual ranked online. There's augments, but that's just strictly offline, so that's already a positive thing. There's no gear involved, there's no gear stats involved with these custom moves, and I feel like they should be displayed in the competitive scene as well, because there's going to be moves that are better than others, and there's just going to be some moves that might be situational depending on matchups, right? So I feel like with the custom variation, it's such a brilliant idea that I feel like it would be wasted in the competitive scene, where there's going to be the most eyes, well, maybe definitely it's going to get the most like mainstream attention because of, you know, esports and all that. So I feel like it would give the game the best representation to actually have the players be able to choose their own moves, because there's no, you know, stats attached to them or anything like that. So if you guys don't know, every character has a base set of moves. So for example, Sub-Zero will always have Ice Ball, he will always have Slide for his character no matter what variation. So characters always have a base set move, but then you could add different moves to the characters. So I feel like in the competitive scene and in ranked, online ranked, etc., I feel like you should be able to, you know, use whatever move you want and actually truly have custom variations, as opposed to the big, not selling point, but one of the big new features that they wanted to introduce in MK11, which was custom variations. I feel like it's going to be wasted if in the competitive scene and in online ranked they go for what was pretty much MKX and have the 3 variations, where most of the time, you know, 1 or 2 variations are not going to be useful. So I just wanted to quickly get that out, because in my opinion, that's one of the most important things about this game that I love. The custom variation system, being able to choose your own moves. It's such a genius idea. It's so good. But I feel like it will be wasted if it's not available in competitive online ranked and the competitive scene in general. And of course, you know, moves could be balanced out. There aren't that many moves really for each character. Maybe each of them have like 6, at the most 8 moves that you could choose from, and some moves take up more slots. So you get like three options, like 3 points, let's just say. And some moves take up 2 points, some moves take up 1 point, some moves even take up 3 points of your available points to pick variations. So I really do not think it would be hard managing that and balancing it out, to be honest with you guys. But wanted to get that out there because in my opinion it's going to be super important to actually, you know, make what was one of the biggest features of new features of this game shine in the competitive scene. All right, now let's talk about presentation. Man, when I first saw the gameplay, and like I think Scorpion was the first character to actually come in on the screen and introduce himself, and I think it was versus who was it? Was it Baraka? I'm not really sure. No, Baraka was with Sub-Zero, and that was like a big reveal. But when Scorpion came in and I saw the graphics and how beautiful the game looks and the intro dialogues, man, I swear to you guys, I felt like crying, because this game looks ridiculously gorgeous. Like, the footage really does not do it justice. I know you guys have been hearing this from every single YouTuber that has uploaded videos, because it really doesn't. The game, when you play it, looks so much better. And I think one of the biggest reasons is just, if I had my settings, right? If I had my color correction and I had my you know, render settings and I had my capture settings, whatever, the game would look like super good. But you know, we had to work with what we were given. So the game doesn't look that bright and that colorful, but trust me guys, the game is like, it does not have a gray overlay like Mortal Kombat X does. This game is really colorful. It uses colors really well. It's nice and bright, but the gameplay that you guys see does not do it justice. Once you get your hands on the game, you guys will see that everything just looks ridiculously amazing. It looks smooth, it looks crisp. Every move has amazing detail. Scorpion's teleport has amazing detail. Just the character of Garrus, just that character alone should be a good representation of how much better this game looks than MKX and even Injustice 2, that made a huge leaps and bounds compared to, you know, MKX already. Just the character Garrus, man, just pay attention to his moveset, pay attention to the detail that they use on him. The game looks amazing. Definitely one of the best looking fighting games ever created, and it'll probably even get polished up even more on like once it's released, which is insane, man. I can't wait to see other characters like Noob Saibot if he's in the game, like Aaron Black if he's in the game. This game is gorgeous. All right, roster time. Let's talk about the roster. So the roster, it's not set in stone that 25 characters are going to be the base roster. I do have a feeling that they're going to bump it up to, you know, 28 to 30 characters. I don't know if they'll go with 30 characters. Injustice 2 had a base roster of 30 characters, including Brainiac and including Darkseid, which were the pre-order bonuses and the unlock character that you get when you beat the story mode. It would be really cool if they have 30 characters. I don't need it to be more than Injustice 2. I just kind of wanted to be on par with Injustice 2, you know what I mean? Because there's so many characters in the MK universe. Just like there's so many DC characters that they could have gone with, you know. There's always going to be characters that are going to be left out, but if we do have a big roster, you know, it'll give us even more characters when DLC comes out. So I really do not think that 25 characters is going to be the base roster of this game. I think they're definitely going to add more once we get closer to the game. Plus, this was a really early build. I heard that this was an October build, so, you know, they might have even added more slots once we get the Kombat cast January 30th. So the roster, so far the roster has a lot of fan favorites. I'm really happy Scarlet is back. A lot of people do not like her design. I really do not understand why. I think she looks great, man. Maybe it's just because I like girls with short hair. I'm not sure. But she looks amazing. Like, I thought Enchantress's design was awesome in Injustice 2. And Scarlet definitely gives me that vibe. So I love her design. Garrus is definitely the best looking character so far in the game. Like, he's ridiculous. Sub-Zero, Scorpion, beautiful designs. Actually, Raiden impressed me a lot. You guys know I really don't. Raiden's like whatever to me. But he really impressed me with a lot of the moves that he had and the way he looked. He's super tall too, which I like. You know, he's supposed to be an elder god. Give him some tallness. Who else am I forgetting? Sonya looks fine. You know, I don't have a problem with the way Sonya looks. I think she looks fine. And am I forgetting somebody else? I have oh, Baraka. Yeah, Baraka looks amazing. The detail on his teeth and his smile and his and the way his skin looks, especially without a shirt and all the like crazy designs he has, he looks awesome. And you know, I'm happy for the Baraka fans that he's back, because a lot of them were really upset in MKX that he got killed. But look at that, he comes back. So all you Melina fans, don't worry, she's gonna be in the game, whether it's in the base roster or DLC. She's like the most popular female character. She's gonna be in the game, and she's gonna look. I can't wait to see how Melina looks. All right, so now moving on here to before I move on to actual gameplay stuff, I just want to talk about the gear and the skins. I'm happy that they combined the best of both worlds. So the best thing, one of the best things about Injustice 2 was the gear. You could customize your character to make him or her look however you want. But the problem was that there was an oversaturation of useless gear. So I'm happy now that they got rid of a lot of the useless gear. They got rid of the chest pieces, the leg pieces, and they just have the accessories and the face and the headpiece, which is the most important thing at the end of the day, because they brought skins in. Everyone likes skins. Everyone likes skins in MKX. You know, it's just, you don't have to worry about any of the extra stuff. You could just get the skin automatically. They also brought back shaders, but they combined shaders with the skins, which I have no problem with. Seeing a green Scorpion, a purple Sub-Zero is a little weird, but I do like the variety. I actually really do. So I'm happy that they combined the best of both worlds and made this, you know, love child that now is skins and gear. You could actually have a normal skin for Scorpion, for Sub-Zero, and the beautiful thing about this is that they're gonna have many skins for different characters. So we already saw like, what, 10 skins or something like that? But in reality, it's more like 3 or 4, because there's different versions and different shaders for the same skin. You know what I mean? So there's like a yellow, a green, a blue, a red, etc. And that's one skin. That's one like version of the skin. And then you have another version of another skin, like a human skin. Like you have Hanzo for Scorpion, and then you have a, you know, yellow Hanzo, white Hanzo, red Hanzo, etc. So there's going to be many versions. There's probably going to be some classic designs like UMK3. We already saw like MK4 style, UMK3/MK4 style in the trailer. So I can't wait to see all the designs that they come up with. They're probably going to come up with new ones and have some classic ones. So I can't wait. That's going to be really exciting. So the love child of Injustice 2 and MKX and MK9 with skins and gear, I love it, man. It's awesome. All right, now let's talk about the gameplay, which I'm sure a lot of you guys probably came here but I wanted to talk everything about Mortal Kombat 11. Share my opinions on everything. Gameplay wise, okay. When I first played the game, I was like, I was not that impressed. When I first initially picked up the controller, I had 20 minutes to play the game. This was before my appointment to actually sit down and capture the event without being interrupted. I first played the game for 20 minutes and I was not that impressed with the game. It felt like I was standing on quicksand and sinking and not being able to move, because I'm so used to having the run button or having the option to quickly dash cancel, because the movement in MK9 is really fast. Like, if you know how to, I don't know how to do it, but I've watched tournament players move around the screen, and fuck, man, those guys move around quickly. The game is fast paced. It's just not like on crack like MKX. MKX is, in my opinion, maybe the fastest 2D on the ground fighting game, because of course it's not a versus game. Versus games are insane, but having the run button, having characters run that fast, and having the screen be so small, and getting from one end of the screen to another and in your opponent's face so fast, it might be the fastest 2D fighting game on the ground. So that is like comparing that to what I first experienced playing MK11 and feeling like the movement is sort of like Injustice 1, not even Injustice 2, like Injustice 1, where the walk speed is insanely slow, the dashes are insanely slow, they don't go far at all. You have to wait way longer to be able to dash block. It felt definitely underwhelming. So the second time I got a second little session of 20 minutes, it felt better, and then it just kept feeling better and better and better and better, because I was getting used to it. And I think a lot of people, when they're watching the gameplay now, they're comparing it to MKX gameplay, and I definitely think that we should not do that as far as the movement goes. Maybe other aspects of the game, you could sort of want more of an influence from MK9 and MKX than something like Injustice 2, because it definitely feels like MK11 has a huge influence from Injustice 2. And not saying Injustice 2, not saying that's a bad thing, because Injustice 2 in its own right is an amazing game as well. But I feel like a Mortal Kombat game should feel more like a Mortal Kombat game. And I'm not saying it feels exactly like Injustice 2, I'm just talking about overall the movement and the way the game feels. Once you're up close to your opponent, it really does feel like Mortal Kombat. Like, when you're up close, it feels like MK9 style fighting, right? There's a lot of, footsies involved. There's a lot of long-range normals involved, which I have no problem with. I don't mind the fact that they took out the run button. I don't care about that. I could work with the dashing, but it definitely just feels very slow. And I'm not the only one who has this opinion. Even the tournament players who love a balanced game that is revolved around footsies more so than, in your face offense, even they think the movement is too slow, which should tell you something. And I think this is going to change. I really do. I don't think they're going to add a run button, so forget about that, guys. This game is built to play like a mixture of MK2 and MK9. Words from, I don't want to quote the exact person, I don't remember who it was, but I remember hearing this or reading this from an interview. It said that they wanted to make a balance between MK9 and MK2. So walking is going to be really important in this game. This was a specific design choice for the combat style of this game. So there's not going to be any run button, forget about that. But that doesn't mean that they can't speed up the dashing, they can't speed up the amount of frames in which you could cancel your dash with a block to make it, faster. They can't That doesn't mean they can't change the distance in which a forward dash travels. So I know that NetherRealm is paying attention to everyone's criticism about the movement, and I know it's going to improve. This game is only going to get better with the movement and everything else that I'm going to talk about here. So the movement at first was definitely underwhelming, but the more I played it, the more I got used to it, and the more I was having fun, and the more I was discovering things, and the more I was trying to, you know, play how the game wants you to play instead of trying to, you know, run and dash block and stuff like that. And it became a lot more fun the more I played it. So I think it's going to improve, but overall, you know, we only got like an hour and a half, max 2 hours with the game. So it's going to take some time to get used to it, but I definitely think that the game will only get better movement wise. So I'm very excited about that. Alright, so a couple other gameplay stuff. 50-50s. And for you guys who might not know what 50-50s are, it's pretty much a combo starter or a move that hits overhead or low. So overheads are if you're blocking while you're crouching, you get hit by that overhead no matter what. And lows, if you are blocking while standing, you get hit by that low, even if you're blocking, right? So 50-50s, that's what they are. 50-50s are definitely an MK11. Like, they're there, baby. But they're not as prevalent and they're not as strong as they were in MKX, which I have no problem with. I don't mind the 50-50s being toned down at all. They were already toned down a bunch in the final patch of MKX. Like, they were toned down a lot. A lot of the 50-50s in this game, if they do lead to a combo, it's unsafe if it gets blocked. There's also 50-50s that, you know, one of the options is just a single hit. Like, for example, an overhead is just a single hit. Scorpion has one. He has like a flip kick. That's an overhead. Of course, he has his low starter. I think it was like back 3-2, something like that, that you could, of course, combo with. So 50-50s are definitely there. And there's moves that have 50-50s in them. For example, Scorpion has the stance where he has 3 options, one overhead, one mid, and one low. But the thing is, the options don't lead to anything. They lead to a knockdown, but they're still 50-50s. So if you go into your pressure, you go into your stance, and you catch your opponent with the 50-50, you're not going to get a full combo, but you still get the mix-up. You know what I mean? So 50-50s are definitely still there. They're just not, you know, insane like they were in MKX. Like, MKX definitely spoiled us because MKX was everything that was offensive on crack. You know what I mean? So for a lot of you guys who, you know, for a lot of us, I should say, because I started playing Mortal Kombat again in MKX. I play a little bit of MK9, but not too much. But for a lot of us who are used to a Mortal Kombat game being like MKX, we definitely have to get rid of that mindset. Moving on here. All right, so the new meter. All right, so the new meter is something that I think a lot of people are divided about this, because it's a good idea in theory to not have to rely on doing special moves to gain meter, because that's when there's a lot of zoning involved. For example, in Injustice 2, you know, projectile, 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 projectile until that's how you build meter, you know. And in every fighting game, you build meter by doing things, either special moves, normal moves, etc., right? But I think having the meter refill by itself promotes the walk back, walk back, walk back even more so, because when you run out of meter, you want to build it back up. So what are you going to do? You're not going to walk forward because you have no offensive meter. You're going to walk backwards and backwards and backwards and backwards and backwards. So I think, like, the offensive meter refilling, I think honestly it promotes more walk back, walk back, walk back defensive play, as opposed to building your own meter through doing normal moves and, you know, just hitting your opponent. I feel like the defensive meter is fine building on its own, because there's no breakers or anything like that. So there's a lot of different ways to use your defensive meter. There's wake up options. There's the perfect block or flawless block counter. There's the roll. There's the air tech. There's a lot of different ways to use your defensive meter. So I feel like the defensive meter should refill by itself, you know? Get rewarded just by playing defense with the defensive meter. But I feel like the offensive meter should work as it always has with previous games and just gain when you're doing normal attacks and when you're doing special moves. That's just my opinion. But if they were to keep it this way, you know, I think it shouldn't be too much of a problem depending on what they do with the movement, because I'm just basing it off the movement that I played here. But if the movement starts becoming a lot faster and a lot quicker, then it'll be easier to get around zoning and around the walk back, walk back, walk back. So I think if they speed up the movement and just make the game faster, I think it wouldn't really matter if the offensive meter refills while you're, you know, just playing. It refills by itself. Also, I feel like the offensive defensive meter should refill a little bit slower. I think it's too fast, especially the defensive meter, because if you do something like a wake up or if you grab an interactable, like that meter comes back really, really fast. And then you're able to keep getting out of combos, keep rolling out, you know. I feel like some of the things, they should tone down the amount of meter that you have, or the amount of meter that you waste and how quickly you regenerate that meter. All right, so one last thing is the crushing blows, or crushing blows and fatal blows. So I want to talk about that at the end. I think crushing blows are definitely a really, really cool concept. The fact that you're able to sort of like, one really cool thing that I like that NetherRealm did is that they give you an option in the menu to be able to pick when you want to use your crushing blow, and I love that. I love it. It's super good on NetherRealm to do that, because this way you could save your crushing blow whenever you want to do something crazy. Like, that's gonna be the way that people get insane combos in this game. It's not gonna be just by doing your basic, you know, do a string into a launcher into another combo. You know, juggles are definitely not as prevalent in this game as they were in previous games, but I think with the crushing blow, there's going to be a lot of opportunity to have some creative combos, have some extended combos, and definitely do a ton of damage. Because, for example, Sub-Zero has his meter burn slide. If you do it 3 times, on the 3rd time you do a meter burn slide, if it hits raw, it does literally 250 damage, guys. The meter burn slide, 250 damage on its own, because it does a fatal blow, or a not a fatal blow, a crushing blow. And if you put it at the end of your combo, it gives you a huge chunk of damage at the end. So I feel like that's gonna be the main source of combo extensions, because there's some crushing blows that actually involve combo strings and they launch the opponent if you punish them or something like that. So that's definitely going to be something that is very prevalent in this game. So I think it's a great idea. I actually really like the way they implemented a way to have X-ray type moves in combat. When I heard about this pre-launch or pre-reveal, I was afraid that it was going to slow the game down, but I feel like it flows perfectly with the game. I feel like it adds something else to the game that, you know, no other Mortal Kombat has had, obviously, which is like a little cinematic in between combos and in between special situations. So I feel like it doesn't slow the game down at all. Actually, I feel like it adds a lot more to the game, a lot more hype, because, man, imagine ending your combo with a fatal blow and seeing that, and, you know, the crowd would definitely react in the competitive scene, and I would pop off just ending a really sick long combo with a crushing blow, I should say. So I really like it. A lot of people have asked me what I think about combos not being you know, a main focus in this game. And I feel like at first I was really upset when I read that their focus was to maintain just very short combos. I was very upset about that. But like I said, once we had more information about the way crushing blows work, and you know, some of the mechanics that I personally didn't get a chance to flesh out, but other people did, you know, it definitely gave me a lot more hope that there's going to be a lot of possibilities in this game with combos and with juggles, especially for the fact that you could juggle a second time with a meter burn move after you juggle the first time with like a crushing blow. So I think that's pretty cool. And I feel like no matter what, there's going to be really exciting and cool combos. I just hope that, you know, a lot of the characters have different ways to have creative combos. You know what I mean? Because in MKX, honestly, the only characters that really have like crazy creative extended combos are characters like Cyrax, characters like Predator, and you know, maybe a couple other characters. So if there's a couple characters in this game that have like insanely long creative combos, I'll definitely be down to play that character. So as far as combos go, I feel like you know, there's gonna be combos in the game, and people are gonna find stuff. I'm gonna find stuff. A lot of people are gonna find stuff once we actually get our hands on the game with more than, you know, 1.5 hours to play. And the final thing that I want to talk about, which has a lot of people, you know, divided on, is the fatal blows. The fatal blows are like what X-rays used to be, or it's pretty much an X-ray mixed in with like a super move. So it's not a full super move and it's not a full X-ray, it's like a mixture, because there's like a cinematic part and then you go into your X-ray. So I think fatal blows are a genius idea, and here's why. When someone who isn't like too much into the game, right, what's the first thing they ask about a fighting game? Hey, what's his super move, or what's his like finisher move, or what's his special move? You know what I mean? Like in Injustice 2, that was always the first question. Oh man, what's Supergirl's super move? Like what's Superman's super move? Oh, let me see Aaron Black's X-ray, you know? Do it on Warrior Predator. It says ugly mofo. So the fact that they implemented a way where it's actually viable and actually important to the flow of the game to use your fatal blow and to use your quote-unquote X-ray, I think is a genius idea, because now we're going to be able to see more X-rays being performed in the game, because we literally never got that in any of the previous games. We never got X-rays, we never got super moves, because meter was just too important. And the fact that now you get a free X-ray when you get down to 30% health, and you could only do it one time a game. So for example, if you use it in the first round, you win that first round, and then your opponent wins the second round, and you go into a third round, you're not going to have it for those next 2 rounds. You know what I mean? So you could only do it once per game. I feel like it's a great idea. It doesn't have armor on the first couple of frames, actually, because I played against a computer, and I definitely know that I did not meaty that computer in the first frame of their wake up. So it does not have armor on the first, like, I don't know how many frames, but I know it doesn't have armor on the first couple of frames of a wake up. So you can't just wake up with it all the time. It does have armor, but it doesn't start up for, I would probably say like 5 frames or something like that. It was actually a pretty big window where it doesn't have armor. So it could get beat. It's not like if you could just mash it in someone's block string or something like that and just, you know, get it no matter what, or mash it on wake up. And the fact that it's super hype, the moves are really fast, so that's going to be another way to get crazy damage in this game. Just imagine this: you save like 2 crushing blows, boom boom boom, 2 crushing blows, you do another launcher, a meter burn move that's a launcher, and then you finish your combo with your fatal blow, damn, that's gonna be some damage. So I actually personally love the fatal blow. I think it's a great idea. It's a way for X-rays and X-rays, super moves, whatever, to be showcased without punishing the player for, you know, trying to you know, do this X-ray and super move. It doesn't take any of the stamina bar from your offense or defense. The only thing, if it gets blocked or if you whiff it, it's on cooldown for about 5 seconds. I think it should be maybe a little bit longer, 8 seconds, somewhere around there. I think should be good. Just add a little bit more. And it's super punishable on block. It's super punishable on whiff. So I don't see any problem with it. I really don't. I think it's a great idea because it just adds something else that's super hype, like seeing an X-ray. Like, the X-rays in this game are ridiculous, man. They're so detailed. It's like, I hate broken bone stuff, so it kind of like makes me cringe on some of them. So I think it's a great idea. So I think that's gonna do it, guys. Almost 40 minutes straight talking, baby. One take. I have not paused to re-record any portion. Just one take and go. And I think that's gonna be it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed my honest opinions about MK11, giving you everything from the variations, from presentation, from roster, from gear. Cap it all off with gameplay talk. And just final thoughts, final words. I feel like MK11 has the potential of being the best Mortal Kombat game of all time. I really do. The visuals are just crazy, and if they could just tweak a couple of things, I think this game has the potential to be the best Mortal Kombat ever. And of course, we only got a little bit of time to play, so once we actually get in the game, what people think, I think, you know, combos are not as prevalent. Who knows, maybe there's even more combos in this game than MKX for more characters. But we're gonna find all that out once we actually get our hands on the game for a significant amount of time. And I cannot wait, man. I am so excited for this game, and I'm so excited to see how the gameplay progresses over the course of the next 3 months. So thank you guys so much. If you guys made it all the way to the end, you guys are the real MVPs. I really appreciate it. So thank you guys so much. I'm gonna take a sip of water after this because I've been talking for almost 40 minutes straight. Thank you guys so much for watching today's MK11 video on my honest opinions about MK11 and its gameplay mechanics and everything involved with it. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. What's going on? It's Super here, and thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you guys subscribed if you are not already. Also, check out any of these videos linked at the top. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.